Oh, hello. Can we please talk about what's coming up in the NFL in Week 13? I can't believe we're already at Week 13. Only a couple of weeks left in the Orion Bowl Fantasy League, the best NFL Fantasy League filled with drama, intrigue. Obviously, I'm perfectly biased because obviously I'm Commissioner Burt of Orion Bowl Commissioner fame. So let's have a look at what happened in Week 12. The Week 12 entourage for that week is Jalen Hurts, Vinny Chase. Vinny Chase, the star of the show. Jalen Hurts is the star of the Philadelphia Eagles offense and is also simultaneously the star of the Suns offense, who got a narrow win over the Harlots to put the Harlots on somewhat shaky ground here. They're not guaranteed a playoff spot yet. In fact, I'm not either, but I have one extra win in the column at the moment. I play the Harlots this week. Yeah, losing by 2 points, that is tough, but congratulations to the coach's Suns, another emphatic win. Still keeping the old Burts as the 2-9-2. Jalen Hurts just put up a ridiculous number. 29. He could have put up 25 and then he'd lost. But he put up 29 and he won. So, yeah. The Johnny Drama Heavy Lifting Award goes to Miles Sanders, who took Baby Got Dak to Week 12 high score. 136, I think, something like that. And yeah, they're currently sitting at third in the league, sitting pretty. All those trades seem to really be paying dividends now for Baby Got Dak. I like it. Like it a lot. The Turtle Award for Better Than Expected goes to the Dolphins D, who took myself, the Baltimore Ravens, to a scraping win. It wasn't even that much of a scrape, to be fair. I cleared them by 12 points. The fact that the Indianapolis Colts only put up 70 points was a big help. But what also helped was the Philadelphia defense, going to show that, yes, you can stream whichever defense is playing against the Texans for the rest of the year with quite a lot of confidence, to be fair. The Ari Jeremy Piven Diversity Award goes to Josh Jacobs because he was everywhere on the field for the team with no name. He was rushing, he was receiving, he just went off. He just absolutely went off, taking the team with no name to a very high score in their own right. They're only 2 points off the high score. And he's hunting for that fourth playoff position. And should the Harlots lose this week to myself and he gets a win, all of a sudden that fourth place in the playoff picture starts to get a little swirly. And the E-Terribleness Award goes to Mike Gesicki. I know that tight ends haven't been good this year, but my God, a Snake Eyes? You want at least 1 or 2 points from your tight end. That's about what you can expect this season from tight ends. Tight ends, you have been terrible this year, with the exception of Kelsey. Not you, Kelsey. You've been wonderful, sir. But with the exception of Kelsey, you've all been very disappointing, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. Terrible. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the league standing as it stands going into Week 12. So you've got obviously the coach's Suns are sitting at the top. They're absolutely ridiculous. Why is that say 8-1? That's not. Oh, they're 10-2. So status 8. I don't know what that status thing is. I have no idea what that status thing is. That seems, I don't know. I'm going to let's play in play. Oh, okay. So they're doing like a live thing. That's pretty cool. I might have to keep an eye on that over the weekend. If you log in, guys, and look at the league, they've got this status bar thing. I don't really know what it is. I'm sure that it's showing the current. I don't know. Anyway, coach's Suns are sitting in first place. 10-2 on the season. The 2, of course, being the Baltimore Ravens, who are sitting at number 2. As the coach's Suns coach would say, I'm a real number 2. So Baby Got Dak moved into third position. Level win-loss with the San Diego Harlots, but obviously they've got a better win head-to-head record. Team with no Namath really nipping at their heels at 6-6. So the San Diego Harlots, they're in must-win territory here against me this week, because if they start slipping, and they go to 7-6, and the team with no Namath go to 7-6, I'm not sure who's done the head-to-heads there. You've got Legion of Mixon, who are falling away a bit. Gorillas and Colts are respectfully out of playoff contention at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as we get to it. This is an interesting week. going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Week 13, terrible bet. I've decided to do my usual thing, and most of the bet is on my opponent's players this week. Apart from Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore for the Jets. I'm betting on him mostly because I'm playing Garrett Wilson, and yeah, I want to. Basically, I just feel like the ball's going to go anywhere but him, which will leave Elijah Moore to get 2 touchdowns, maybe 3. 250 to 1 for a brace for Elijah Moore. That's worth a quid. 28 to 1 for the brace, and well, and I've also put the single on an accumulator along with Devontae Adams, Pierce, Justin Fields, and George Kittle, all to score anytime, and that's like what, 80 odd to 1. Why didn't I not just like bring that up? Really, 88 to 1. Fantastic. It is terrible. This, it'll never happen, but at least if a couple of my opponent's players going for a touchdown, I will feel a lot better about life. So that leaves us to look at week 13. Let's have a preview. What is gonna go down? What is gonna go down? Why haven't I already got this screen up ready? That's terrible. So, as I said, the Baltimore Ravens are taking on the San Diego Harlots. This one is kind of win. I think it's win and in for me. If I win, I believe I am in the playoffs mathematically. I'll have to double check that. But we've only got 2 weeks left after this, and that'll put me up at 8-5. And then obviously the Harlots would slip to 7-6. So yeah, I think that mathematically would put me in. So and this is a kind of a must-win for the San Diego Harlots, but it's good news for them because their team is very good. So let's take a look here. I've got Pat Mahomes playing at Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati don't generally give up a lot of points to opposing quarterbacks, but it is Pat Mahomes. He's not just any opposing quarterbacks. It's Pat Mahomes. I think I did a good job in drafting him where I did this year because he's just been a very reliable kind of 20+ points. And that's why I'm not getting rid of him. I also traded for Dalvin Cook. I don't think Dalvin Cook has a particularly big game this week, but I am being wary of Jeff Wilson because whilst he's very good, and I believe Mostert is still out, I'd have to double check that, but I believe even with Mostert in, there's tremendous upside to Wilson in that Miami running offense. However, they are playing one of the best run defenses in the league in the San Francisco 49ers. So I'm being wary of Jeff Wilson. You know, between running back and running crap, I'm leaning more towards running crap for Jeff Wilson. But he is staying in my flex position because I'm keeping an eye on Samuel Debo. Samuel Debo is currently questionable, but he's trending towards a game time decision. If Samuel Debo plays, if Debo Samuel plays, he goes in over Jeff Wilson. That's what I'm going with. Picked up Cole Kmet for the Bears because my opponent is playing Fields and Njoku, who's been ruled out. So I had to find a new running back. Also got Tony Pollard, who I think has tremendous upside this week. I know that he got his wings clipped a little bit last week, but he's still got so many touches and so much production that a player of his caliber, if he continues to get that production, he's going to have big weeks. I think he could very easily be a top 5 running back this week. Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, as I said, Garrett Wilson with anybody throwing to him that isn't Zach Wilson, he's going to be a problem. Like the Jets, I think the Jets are undefeated this season with when they've got a quarterback who has a passer rating of above 75 and isn't Zach Wilson. So I don't think we see Zach Wilson again. We've seen it. It seems like maybe he wasn't that well liked in the locker room. You're starting to see some of these reports. But hey, look, if it means the Jets are winning, look, Mike White looked sensational. In fact, I believe my opponent picked him up. He's got him sitting there on his bench. Yeah, that's a good pickup. That is a good pickup, man. So yeah, that's where I'm going with. Got on the opposing side, you've got Justin Fields. You've got Javonte Williams for the Detroit Lions. He's just been a touchdown machine this year. And going against Jacksonville, you've got to believe there's a few touchdowns in store there. I think Pierce, that's an interesting shout. Houston have not looked great. They'll be playing from behind quite a lot, I'd imagine. I'm not sure about that one, but hey, look, you know, it is what it is. Like, My opponent is a 3-time champion and he's got a much higher average score than me this year, so he knows what he's fucking doing. I'm sure there's a reason he's picked Pierce up. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, no-brainers, got to put those in. Eckler has really picked up the pace coming down the stretch. And George Kittle, I did a trade with him. I can't even remember who I got for George Kittle, if I'm totally honest. Who did I get for George Kittle? I don't even know. God, my team has changed around so bloody much. I couldn't even tell you. But either way, George Kittle used to be on my team, and he is now not, so expect him to score big. I think that just due to the desperation, due to the fact that it is a must-win for the Harlots, I'm going to lean towards the Harlots. I think they get it done this week. Baby got Dak versus the Indianapolis Colts. Well, Baby got Dak already on the board, 15 points for Stephon Diggs. That's a relatively good score. He's got some very good talent as Baby got Dak. Unfortunately, the Indianapolis Colts, they got a 0 from Dawson Knox, so they've already got zeros from their tight end. A lot of their players have not been in form. Najee Harris is losing out a lot of touches to the other running backs in Pittsburgh. Henry's had glimmers of hope. Prescott had a horrible game last week. Metcalf he's probably one of the better players there. Evans against the New Orleans secondary should have a pretty decent game, but come on, he's going up against Justin Herbert, who's pretty good, but that's not the danger guy. You've got the dangerous people on that lineup, and Nick Chubb, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, who seems to be putting up 3 touchdowns a game. Miles Sanders, incredible. 49ers defense, that's a very good play. I have to say that it's looking like the Indianapolis Colts are going to get another loss here. And Baby got Dak trying to head to that playoff position. It looks like it's looking good. It's looking good down the stretch. And then you have got the team with no name versus the coach's sons. So you've got Lamar Jackson, Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott's going to be very touchdown dependent. I don't think he's not being asked to do the hard yards. So they're putting him in the red zone. Provided he gets in when they put him in the red zone, yes, you should be playing him. But just be wary that he is touchdown dependent. Without those touchdowns, the yards that he's getting, typically, he's not getting nearly as much production as Pollard is. But Pollard, if they don't use him down the stretch and he gets his wings clipped a bit, you can see, like last week, it's very difficult to predict. Jonathan Taylor, no-brainer. CeeDee Lamb, no-brainer. Taysom Hill. Okay, yeah, that's not a bad shout. I did have him on my lineup last week. He did okay. Jacobs is questionable. I think he's trending towards a game-time decision. Keep an eye on that one. Steelers D against Atlanta. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, Atlanta's been looking okay the last few weeks. But then you've got, Jalen Hurts, Christian McCaffrey, Ramondre Stevenson's already gone for 7 points there. You've got Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Oh, no, that's not St. Brown, is it? That's AJ Brown. That's a good shout. Watson, that's a must play. Mark Andrews, yeah, that's pretty good. Jamar Chase is trending towards playing this week. Oh, I tell you what, I think it's gonna be the coach's sons. I think the coach's sons get another win this week, which kind of shatters the team with no Namath's playoff aspirations, because they need to get a win this week. They have to do it. And you've got the Legion of Mixon minus Mixon versus the coaches versus the Dallas Stray Gorillas. Now the Dallas Stray Gorillas have had what looks like a pretty good start, but actually they played 3 players there. Their defense, wide receiver, and Josh Allen. They've only got just over 25 points. 29 points. 29. That's not bad actually. I think he would have wanted more than that, ideally. But again, you've got Burrow, Aaron Jones, Robinson. Lockett should have a good game this week. McLaurin's been good. Schultz, Montgomery running against Green Bay is a good shout. El McPherson, the long-legged model kicker, good shout. Patriots D only got 4 points. That's not ideal either. I think, actually, looking at it, I think Kamara has a pretty good game this week. So does Akers. Higgins is probably going to have a good one. Pittman. Giuseppe has to have a better game than last week because he put up zeros. But just because Giuseppe's been so terrible and Kamara's been so on and off, I'm leaning towards the Legion of Mixon. I think the Legion of Mixon get that one done. So that's all I've got time for this week. Whoever I picked to win, proved me right. Whoever I picked to lose, proved me wrong. I'll see you next week. Best of luck, everybody.